this refugee camp of all ages, of all kinds. But our main target group is the youth, children and teenagers and young people, because they are the biggest sector of the community in the Balata refugee camp. Balata here is one of the many refugee camps that we have inside Palestine and outside Palestine, of course. It's the same story, the same history that after 1948 and the war between the new state of Israel and the Palestinian people, the Arab countries, in their way of rejecting the state of Israel born at that time. This war, the Arabs were defeated, and one of the main outcomes that more than 800,000 Palestinians became refugees. And Balata here hosts one of the first groups of refugees. It was established at the beginning of the 50s, 51, 52. It was the initiation time. It started with 5,000 Palestinian refugees who mainly came from the city of Jaffa and the surrounding area.
Okay.
They started living here underneath a tent, of course, under hope and maybe wish that something will happen and they will go back home after the war and the conflict is over. But it never happened, and they continued to live here. The camp progressed, the tent was removed years after, and people started to live in a small room. This room also evolved and it became a house throughout the years until we became into this refugee camp that we have right now in 2012.
C'est la première fois que je vois un ghetto en fait. Des gens qui vivent 25 000 personnes qui vivent sur 1 km². Et ils ont occupé, ils utilisaient le moindre petit espace pour optimiser avec des bouts de briques et de broc, c'est juste impressionnant. Alors la nuit, là on est en plein jour, on y voit à peu près. J'ose même pas imaginer la nuit en fait. Ici, t'as déjà entendu parler de coupe-gorge ? Bah t'as juste à filmer ça, tu sais ce que ça veut dire quoi. Voilà. Et ici il y a 75% ou 80% de moins de 30 ans, donc juste impressionnant. Voilà. Hey, guys.
We have very high unemployment rate, and most of the unemployment, la chômage in French, is among the 18 years old to 29 years old. This creates more of the social problems. When you have a lot of those young people, either male or female, not able to find a job, because unemployment rate in Balata, it is 46%. This is insane. This is a big problem. So the unemployment now causing two problems. For the people who are young and they cannot get a job, they cannot get married, they cannot establish a life, they're bored, they're depressed, they're frustrated. It can create suicidal attempts or tendency. A lot of social and domestic violence inside the homes and inside the camp. The other side is the unemployed parents, the fathers, who are not employed, and also they're becoming depressed, they're becoming frustrated, and they are having social problems and also more of the domestic violence because their frustration, unfortunately, is coming out on the wife in violent ways, on the children. This violence is moving from the house into the street, inside the schools, that now we have a bigger problem in our schools. The schools in Balata are supported by the United Nations because the camp is established by the UNRWA, the United Nations. For example, I can talk about this, of course, because in my center here, in our project, we are working directly with this school. It's the boys' school for the teenagers from 11 years old to 15 years old. Nobody in the camp calls it a school. They call it the slaughterhouse.
The slaughterhouse?
The slaughterhouse. And I can tell you what just happened today.
Yeah.
Because one of my social workers here, he works at the school every day, helping the principal and the teachers and the counselor.
Yeah.
The violence in this school is unbearable. It is unbelievable. Because, as I said, all the frustration coming from the family, the situation, the bad political situation, and no outlet, no vision for the future, unfortunately, it comes down on the children. And the worst way, this is the problem, that everything is expressed in a violent way. Today, 30 people attacked pupils, 30 students attacked one student. And then 2 classes ended up fighting with each other, using chairs, their bags, fist, big fight inside the school.
Coming down.
Inside the school.
Yeah.
We have horrible stories happening inside this school. And of course, it's because this is the outcome.
Yeah.
When you are a child and your father is poor, which is poverty line, it's 80% poverty in percentage, the percentage of poverty in the camp here. And no good food, no good clothing, no good schools. The parents are busy trying just to make a living, not paying attention to their children. All this ignorance, negligence, and the frustration, as I said, unfortunately, it's coming out into a violent behavior.
But these are normal consequences of
course.
Because of unemployment.
Yeah.
But according to you, what do we, I say we, because we are all concerned, this is not just a Palestinian problem, this is a human being problem.
Yes,
so we are
exactly.
human beings, and do you think what do we have to do first, the emergency, to improve, to get a better situation? What is the emergency right now for you?
Well, we have been living, in a very small scale, about Balata refugee camp. Balata represents the Palestinian story, because Balata became the leader of the refugee camps in the West Bank.
It's a symbol.
It becomes a symbol for the Palestinian issue. So what happens here tells you what is happening or will happen all over the Palestinian area, in the West Bank or in Gaza Strip. This situation cannot continue forever. We cannot continue living in refugee camps, because we are people. We are fathers, we are mothers, we are brothers and sisters, and we are concerned about our life and the life of our children. So the first thing that needs to be done, and I think it's due time, and the Palestinian people cannot wait anymore. We have to have rights.
Yes.
Human rights, the right to be people. We don't know what we are.
Yeah.
We are Palestinian people, but for the world, we are not recognized. We have to be recognized in our own place, where we have dignity, we have borders, we have real government, we have real economy that can create a lot of business opportunities and jobs to solve our biggest problem, which is the unemployment. The occupation has to end.
Yes.
We cannot continue living under the occupation. We are the only nation living under the occupation. This is the only occupation left on earth in the modern history.
And you are the only people who are refugees in their own country.
And yes, we are refugees in our own country. And this cannot continue.
Yeah.
So the world who helped Israel to be created, and we don't have a problem with that, because we are asking for a state only on 22% of historical Palestine. That's how good we are. To have our own state, as I said, full state, next to the Israeli state. We can be good neighbors like the Germans and the French.
Yeah.
Everybody can forget, all the bad stuff if there is a good thing coming.
I heard that you can only use 5% of the water in the area. Water is life. So
It is
how can you live without water? 5%.
Yeah. Well, we, the Palestinian people, I mean, we learned how to manage, how to survive. We are survivals, you know. We live on the minimum level of standard of living, you know. And the experience of living in a refugee camp, as I said, with no privacy, no space. One of the biggest problems here, of course, is water, because we get water once a week. We have to fill up the tanks on the roof. In the winter time, it's okay because we don't really use the water that much.
Yeah.
But in the summertime, we consume the water in 2 or 3 days, and then
No water left.
no water left until you get the water. The water is coming from the Palestinian area. We are in the A area, according to the Oslo Agreement.
Yeah.
But even the water in the A area, it's all documented by the Oslo Agreement, as I said, and the Paris Accord. We cannot use without having a permit from the Israeli government, the Israeli occupation, and on top of this, we have to buy it.
It's
We
incredible.
have to buy our own
Water.
water.
It's incredible.
How can we do it? I don't know, but we do it. And I want to tell you a very little story. It's personal, but it's good for people to know,
Yes.
because it's an example of the life of a lot of people here in Balata and all over the Palestinian refugee camps. My own mother, you know, she
Yeah.
was born in August 15th, 1948. Okay?
Okay.
That's 3 months after the Nakba,
Yeah.
after they had to leave and kicked out of their homes in historical Palestine. She was born in a cave on the mountains of Naplouse here, because the family, her family, ran away from their village next to Jaffa, ended up coming to Naplouse. My grandmother was pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay, so they found a place, like so many families, because they didn't have any place to go. They found a cave, they stayed in the cave. She gave birth to my mother in the cave.
In the
So
cave.
my mother was born a refugee, lived in Balata as a refugee, got married to my father, who is a refugee, gave
now-
birth to 7 children who are refugees, and now she has many grandchildren who are refugees. She is 65 years old, but she is sick of all kinds.
Mm.
She has diabetes, blood pressure, heart problems, she cannot walk, and she's only 64 years old or 65 years old.
She's young to have this problem.
Yes, but this is the outcome of Balata. And what is happening with my mother is happening with my other aunts and all the mothers who are her age or even 10 years younger.
Mm.
Why? Because of living in this kind of situation. So this is not fair.
No, this is unbearable.
Many women her age already died
Mm.
because of heart attack, because of blood pressure or diabetes. So, and they were all born refugees. What I'm saying, it is not fair. You
I
know?
do agree.
We are not looking for the destruction of Israel. I don't want anybody to be against the state of Israel. I want people to be pro-peace, pro-justice,
Pro-justice.
for both. You know, first for the Palestinian people, because we don't have peace, we don't have justice, and we don't have a state. You know, that's what I'm asking everybody to do.
We came from France because a lot of people know the situation, and a lot of people love Palestinian people abroad, in my country, in Europe. And it has been introduced by the media like many times like a religious problem. Like Jews and Muslims fighting each other with Christians and other communities. What I realized coming here is this is not right.
Of
I
course.
mean, this is a problem, a political problem. There is a land occupied and it must be free. This is as simple. I don't have any solution, but I'm talking about what I see. I'm talking about the people I meet. And although we have heard about this territory, about this country in the media,
Yeah.
I knew the situation, but I thought that I knew it, but I didn't really know it.
Until you come and see.
Until I come. I am very lucky to come and see, because this is not the case of many people.
Yeah.
But many people are trying to spread the word, to spread the message. All the people I have met are not begging anything.
No.
They don't ask anything.
I told you, survivals. They
Yes.
manage to live.
They don't ask, that's
They
right.
don't ask for help.
And what is incredible, unbearable, that is not a people from abroad, a foreign people coming in a land to ask and to beg something. These are the citizens of this country.
Yeah.
And as long as I heard about it, I could not imagine what was taking place. But fortunately, I also realized that there is hope. Because meeting you, Nasser, other people, all the children, all the youth, to say that they still stand up.
And people still smile,
Yeah,
still, strong and have a lot of hope and faith.
yeah.
Yeah. What can you do?
You have to keep on
You have
struggling.
You have to keep going.
Keep
You have
going.
to keep up the fight.
Keep up the fight. So Mahmoud, I would like to thank you for everything. We're going to make a round. We're going to have a walk in the camp, and we wish you the best, and we hope we stay in contact. We would like to know what is going on.
Definitely.
Yes, in
we
Balata.
will be in touch all the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It was my pleasure to
Yes.
have you both.